This evening we mark the celebration of Simchas Torah by reading the last chapter of Deuteronomy. We immediately follow it by celebrating a new cycle which begins with the story of creation. Rabbi Hannah chose this story as the theme when she asked if I would, together with the B'Yachad students, create a new Parochet for the Ark. It was my pleasure to say yes, and we started the project by reading the creation story together. Because even though we all think we know it, rereading it can always provide new insights. The creation story tells us that in the beginning, God makes order out of chaos by first separating dark from light, calling the light day and the dark night, a first day. He then separates the water from above from the water below, creating the sky, a second day. God then gathers the water into one area to reveal dry land and calls dry land earth and the water seas and says, "Let the dry land sprout plants and fruit-bearing trees of every kind," a third day. God then says, "Let there be lights in the sky to separate day from night that shall serve as signs for set times, the days and the years." He then made two great lights, one greater to dominate the day and a lesser one to dominate the night, a fourth day. God brings forth swarms of living creatures and birds that fly across the expanse of the sky. He creates great sea monsters, and he blesses them, a fifth day. God then makes every kind of living creature, cattle, creeping things, and wild beasts of every kind, and says, "Let us make man in our image, to rule over the whole earth." God saw that it was good, a sixth day. And on the seventh day he said, "Not bad for a week's work," and rested. So I guess it would be fair to say that God gave us no shortage of ideas to work with. And what we see here is a culmination of those ideas. The raw material was created by the B'Yachad students of class 2018 and 19, whose drawings provided the images you see in the Parochet. And I would really like to thank them for their creativity and imagination. There are two more people I would like to thank, but can't because they've both been dead for over 100 years. So let me explain. When I was designing the Parochet, I spent a lot of time visiting fabric stores, only to find very little that I could use. You see, there are some fabric artists that dye or hand paint their own fabric to fit their vision. I don't work that way. Instead, I rely on what I find commercially. So I had no choice but to wait for new shipments to arrive. It took a while, but one day I walked into Fabricana in Richmond and noticed a group of banners suspended from the ceiling. When I got close, I saw that they were reproductions of paintings by French Impressionists. Two immediately stood out. One was a painting by Georges Seurat and the other by Auguste Renoir. And in those two paintings, I found what I had been waiting for. I don't want to sound too dramatic, but after a long dry spell, I felt that maybe God was taking notice of me. I bought 4 panels of each as insurance in case I screwed up when putting it together. So the patterns that you see in the sky and water are from Renoir's painting called The Skiff. If the water looks like it's been painted, it's because you can see all of Renoir's brush strokes and the different colors he used to create it. From the Seurat painting, you can see the many colors and brush strokes that went into creating the grass and the trees. In fact, it's the work of Seurat and Renoir that provides almost the whole backdrop for the Parochet. I doubt Renoir or Seurat ever heard the word Parochet. Yet over a century after their death, reproductions of their work became an integral part of ours. Lastly, I want to thank Rabbi Hannah for her part in the project. As you may know, Rabbi Hannah is an artist as well as our rabbi. Knowing this was a great help to me. From time to time, as I was making it, I would bring the Parochet down to the Bait and hang it from the ark. I would say to Hannah, "Would you like to be there? I can always use some feedback." She always offered useful suggestions, many of which I adopted. So to conclude, I want to say that the Parochet you are looking at is the combined work of several generations, and I hope it's here to enjoy for several more. Thank you.